Alright, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to some more Kansei, the second turn. My name is Raven from the Sky. Let's do this. I tried the door, but it doesn't open. I thought Kevin said he'd be in there. I knock on the door and I hear the sound of footsteps. The door slides open.
What's up?
You said you'd be here?
Yeah, I did. What do you want?
I crane my neck to peer over Kevin's shoulder. The room behind him looks mostly empty, but I can see the glow of television screens across the wall. Can I come in? Kevin frowns, but he steps aside and let me. Like, okay, what? Why?
Sure, why not? Since Mr. Auten hired you, you'd probably be allowed in here anyway.
Mr. Auten. It doesn't take long to scan the contents of the cold room. There's not much on the tile floor to save for a single chair. A long counter stretches across the wall that bears a lonely keyboard and mouse. Mounted on the wall are several monitors, all flickering with images of various rooms in the house. At first glance, it appears to be a room meant for a high-security corporate building rather than just a house.
Welcome to my Fortress of Solitude. This is the command center for the entire house.
Obviously, he can see everything. Can you think of any reason that someone would want Mr. Auten dead? Why do you work for Mr. Auten? How did you get this job? That's all for now. Let's start with how'd you get this job?
Mr. Auten offered it to me.
Really?
Well, yeah, he handpicks everyone who works for him.
How did he find you?
I graduated in the top of my class at a university he funds. He offered this job to me straight out of college.
Okay. That's pretty lucky.
Yeah, that's the word for it.
Whoa, am I imagining things? Or is he resentful about something? Uh-oh. Why do you work for Mr. Auten?
The money. Duh.
That's all?
Well, yeah. What else is there?
Kevin stares at me as if I just asked him if he breathes oxygen. As if we just asked him a dumb question. I'm starting to think that I'm not going to like anyone in this house. If these are the people Mr. Auten surrounds himself with, I can't imagine the sort of people he's trying to hide from. Ain't that the truth? I'm going to ask another question. Rhetorical question. So you see everything from here?
Not everything. Mr. Auten's office is strictly off limits. Very private, you know. No one knows what he does in there.
Okay, so there's no security cameras in the office, so anyone could have snuck in there past the cameras here, got in there, and you wouldn't even know that, you know, what went on. So if he had like a drink in there to get poisoned, wow. Folds his arms across his chest and scowls. Oh.
As if it isn't obvious.
Obvious? What's obvious?
Mr. Auten never likes to be far from his booze. His solution to anything stressful is to drink it away.
And whoever poisoned him knew that.
Of course, he tries to hide it because it's not very professional, but every time he walks out of that room, he reeks of alcohol.
Can you think of any reason that someone would want Mr. Auten dead?
You're kidding, right?
No.
You must be new around here. Mr. Auten's infamous around these parts.
Infamous, huh?
He's a ruthless sort of dude. Any little guy tries to start something new, he crushes him. Poaches employees, spreads rumors, heck, he's even brought in the courts multiple times.
Poaches employees?
He'll say that these other companies are infringing on his trademark or something equally stupid. Of course, that's only the stuff we know about. If you ask me, he's got more than just dirty business practices going on. I mean, seriously, look at this place. No one builds a house like this in the middle of nowhere unless he's got something to hide.
Interesting theory you got there, buddy.
If he's not doing something illegal, I'll eat my motherboard.
All right. Poaches employees.
Come
Man,
by if you want to ask me anything else.
ain't no telling. I doubt Kevin would appreciate if I poked around. Alright. Good old point and click. It's a retina scanner. Alright. Retina scanner, retina scanner. Those are our retina scanners. Security camera. It's enclosed in tinted plastic, so I can't see which direction it's pointing. Tinted plastic, huh? So you can't even tell if it's looking at you or not. That's a good idea for people that, you know, like thieves that come in and try to watch the camera and wait for it to turn the other way so they can do what they got to do. You can't tell if it's looking or not. So, mountain. All right, so we went in here. So I'm going to check out this hallway first. Then we'll move on. Good old point and click. The atmosphere in the kitchen is tense. Sound of my footsteps sounds unusually loud on the tile floor. It's bringing back memories though. I don't know if you guys ever played Rise of the Dragon for Sega CD, or I can't remember if it was ever on Genesis. I had it for Sega CD. You take the Sega Genesis, it was like an adapter in the middle, and you would connect the two. Hey.
Hey.
Naoki welcomes me with a half-hearted smile. Sophia is standing at the other end of the kitchen, sipping slowly on a cup of tea. Her eyes don't waver from the small cup in her hands. Yeah, you had to find out who killed the mayor's daughter. Basically, she OD'd on whatever type of drug they had. It was like a patch, and she ended up ODing, and you had to figure out where it came from. That was a good game. I never completed it. All my OG gamers know about that game. Comment down below. You guys ever played Rise of the Dragon? Came out, I don't know, between, I want to say 91 and 95. It was early 90s. I lean in towards Naoki because after that, you know, PlayStation 1 came out, and then Sega Saturn and N64. The next gens came out after what was it, 95, wasn't it? Between 94 and 96, the next generation. Is she okay?
She's feeling better. Still a little shaken up, though. She was crying pretty hard when we found Mr. Auten's body.
Kangai,
Yes?
I hope you don't mind if I ask you something.
No, go ahead.
How did you know that something bad happened to Mr. Auten?
That's...
Naoki, please. I was asking Kangai.
Sorry.
So, how did you know?
I guess you could say I have sort of a sixth sense.
A sixth sense? As in psychic?
I guess you could call it that.
Can you give me details on how it works?
Whoa, she actually sounds like she might believe me. I can't really say. I just feel things. I get sick sometimes, and then I know something bad has happened. Naoki start staring hard at me, as if I should keep quiet. I guess I just... Talking about my Kansei is a bad idea. Look at the look on his face. Still, I feel like she deserves at least a partial truth. Yeah.
I see. I suppose it's different then.
Different from what?
Many years ago, Mr. Auten experimented with extending the mental capacities of human beings. It's not like what you described, though.
What sort of experiments?
I don't really know much about it. It was a long time ago, before I started working for him. He just mentioned it in passing once, so I thought maybe that had something to do with it. He was terribly drunk at the time, though, so I suppose he might not have even been telling the truth. I'm sorry, I'm jumping to the strangest conclusions here. I must not be in a very good frame of mind right now.
Sophia sighs and shuts her eyes. She looks like she wants to cry again. I'm sorry you really cared about Mr. Auten, didn't you? For a moment, Sophia doesn't respond. Her shoulders shudder as she takes in a deep breath. Finally, she opens her eyes and speaks in barely more than a whisper.
I don't know what I'm going to do now that he's gone.
I'm so sorry.
Naoki places a gentle hand on Sophia's shoulder. For a moment, I feel strange. She defiantly sounds sincere. She definitely sounds sincere, but something about what she just said sounds off.
I'm sorry. I just really want to find the person who did this. If there's anything you need to know, just ask, okay?
Yeah, sure, thanks. Poison. Oh, did they poison the tea? His booze? Let's see, some spoons and a spatula. They're a bit dusty. It's like a gas stove, commercial grade. It's empty. Empty. Small jar of salt. Looking at how large the grains are, I guess kosher. A spoon with a hole in the bottom. Probably not too useful for serving soup, but perfect for straining pasta. Okay, fridge, microwave. There is hot tea in there. Naoki probably made it. What do you think about Mr. Auten's death?
What do I think? I think it's terrible. I really don't like having to see dead bodies.
Well, I meant, who do you think did it?
I really can't say. I don't want to make any judgments.
Right. He glances to the side and begins to absent-mindedly fiddle with his fingers. Can you at least tell me your thoughts on everyone here?
Well, Liam is pretty angry with his uncle. His eyebrows went down every time he spoke about him.
Doesn't mean he did it, though. I know that's not what he's saying, but you don't really want to judge a book by its cover.
He covered his face when Aki started asking more questions, so he's got something to hide.
Okay, so we'll speak to him.
I'm pretty sure Marissa's hiding something too. Every time she smiles, her eyebrows go up, as if she's worried. After she finished her interview with Mr. Auten, she was even more nervous than before. Sophia was pretty frustrated when we came, but now she's really anxious. She won't stop pacing back and forth. You mean that guy with the red hair? I didn't really get to see his face. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. I was just curious, really. It's good enough that you know this much. I'm kind of impressed.
I've been studying body language for a while now. Feel free to come talk more if you want.
Why do you work for Mr. Auten?
Mr. Auten values my services. I am a trained professional and an excellent personal assistant.
That wasn't really an answer. What I meant was, why did you choose to work for him?
I have personal reasons, but my employment is both legal and morally sound.
I'll come back later.
Of course.
Oh, a restroom. Weird. This looks like he built this place with visitors in mind. I wonder what changed. Soap dispenser. There's a space between the frame and the wall, so it's not a two-way mirror. I can't believe I'm checking for this. Old habits die hard, I guess. The museum, I know we've been in here first, but I didn't really examine it. Talking. Tortoise Dragon Phoenix. Very nice urn. Some old armor from the Qin Dynasty. I'm not sure where that door leads. Outside, I guess? Either way, it's locked. Some sort of box. There's no label on it. Guessing it's not that important. Li Mei is gazing blankly in the direction of a collection of old plates. I approach where she barely seems to notice my presence. So, hey. Li Mei blinks slowly and turns to face me. She nods once to acknowledge my presence. I shift my weight from one foot to the next as she stares at me expectantly. What am I even supposed to say? How are you feeling? She stares at me with a mixture of surprise and confusion.
I don't know.
She states it so simply, I almost feel foolish for asking. I guess I was just wondering if you were okay since someone died after all. She tilts her head and looks at me curiously.
Does it bother you?
Does what bother me?
Death.
Yeah, of course it bothers me. I mean, even if I've experienced it before, that doesn't mean that I'm okay with it. Death is a terrible thing no matter how often you see it. I stare at my hands and rub my fingers slowly together. My palms feel sweaty. What about you? Li Mei stares at me curiously, as if she doesn't fully understand my question. I mean, are you bothered by death? She fidgets and examines her open palms the same way I just did. Slowly, she rubs together her fingertips, as if she'd never seen her hands before. Finally, she speaks.
He was very scared.
Mr. Auten?
Yes, but even though I felt his fear, I knew that I was not scared. I'm not scared, but I still feel scared. Does that mean I'm bothered or not bothered?
I sigh and lean against the door frame. You know, I've always wondered what it would feel like to die. Li Mei tilts her head to the side. She looks curious. I mean, I've experienced death, of course, but they're not the same. And somewhere in the back of my mind, every time I do it, I always know it's not mine. I always wondered, when I die, will I be afraid or will I think that it's just someone else's death again? Or maybe by the time I die, I'll be so uncomfortable with it, I won't care, even though I know it's mine. I turn to face Li Mei. She's watching my face carefully. I don't know. That wasn't really an answer, huh? I laugh and shrug casually. Honestly, I don't even know why I said any of that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that there isn't really an answer. You and I both have to carry other people's emotions. It's tiring and sometimes it's confusing. But I think that if we didn't have these abilities, we'd still be sad when other people are sad and scared when other people are scared. That's just being human. Li Mei smiles and takes my hand in hers.
Thank you.
I'm sure, you're welcome. What does the calligraphy in the front hallway say?
No dust settles here. It means that this place is quiet and safe from influence of the outside world.
Huh? Okay. What is everybody feeling right now?
Naoki is scared.
No, I meant the others, not our friends.
Oh, I apologize.
Li Mei takes a deep breath and closes her eyes again. This time, it takes her a little longer to sort out her thoughts.
Sophia is sad. She feels as if there is no hope, but there is also relief.
Relief? Again? I felt uneasy about Sophia. Earlier, when I asked her if she cared about Mr. Auten, she didn't actually answer me. All she said was that she didn't know what she'd do now that he's gone. I don't know why that bugs me so much, but it seems like she was avoiding the question.
Marissa is scared and disappointed. There's so much emotion inside of her. It's all flowing at the same time. She wants to be happy, but she also feels very guilty. Humans are very complicated.
Li Mei nods earnestly, as if she just struck a new idea. I nod in return.
Kevin is uncertain. He does not know what he should be feeling.
He definitely seemed to have trouble believing me when I told him that Mr. Auten died. Denial, I guess.
And Liam? I can't.
What's wrong?
He's with Aki right now. She is manipulating his emotions with her Kansei. I cannot tell what is his and what is not.
Aki. That girl seems to enjoy invading everybody's privacy. It's a wonder that Naoki and Li Mei put up with her. Hopefully, whatever she's up to will lead to something useful. What did you do before you lived with Aki and Naoki?
I'm not allowed to speak about that.
Is there anything that you are allowed to speak about? Li Mei closes her eyes and takes a small breath. Her lips move slowly as if she's poring over the list of things she's allowed to share. Finally, she opens her eyes and smiles with a self-satisfied look on her face.
I'm authorized to share anything that might aid your investigation.
I'll talk to you later. So they hitting back and back and back, and it wouldn't go nowhere. The door slides open to reveal a wide room furnished with some expensive furniture. If I had to name it, I'd call it the living room, but it doesn't feel very limited at all.
Oh, Kangai, hello!
Hey. She's happy to see me. Did I do something?
Hey, did something happen? I saw Sophia rush by with that nice boy, but they didn't tell me what was going on.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure that's a tactful way to put this. Mr. Auten died.
What? Are you kidding?
No.
Are you sure? What happened?
I think he was murdered.
Murdered? I suppose that shouldn't come as much of a surprise.
Oh, that's the second person that told us that. What do you mean?
William Auten is not a popular man. His business practices are already reprehensible, and there have been rumors of unethical treatment of some of his test subjects. That's why I came. I was hoping I'd be able to uncover something about what he might be doing.
Oh. So you're really just sneaking around here trying to dig up some dirt.
It's really not what you think.
Okay, then what?
Nothing.
Earlier you talked about some rumors about Liam. What was that about?
Ah, those. Well, recently, word's been going around that Liam Auten is involved in dogfighting.
Whoa, that's a felony.
Not to mention extremely cruel.
Well, I'm glad he chose to draw the line somewhere at least.
I'm fairly certain he was just getting fed up with Liam's antics. It's one thing to dismiss underage drinking, but the heat from Liam's participation in animal cruelty is bad publicity he didn't need. I heard he was planning on cutting Liam from his will completely.
Planning on? So he didn't get around to do it yet?
As far as I can tell, no. But you'd really have to ask someone more knowledgeable than I.
What sort of illegal things was Mr. Auten doing?
Well, I've heard that he used to head up a series of experiments for the government back in the day. Something about altering genetics. The whole thing wasn't exactly approved as humane, and pretty much everyone was kept in the dark about it.
And how'd you find out?
It's a long story, but the short version is I've met a lot of the victims. I've pieced together their stories and followed the trail back to William Auten. It's a possibility, isn't it?
I suppose. No further questions.
I'll talk to you later then.
$2,000 channels, still not knowing. And I'm going to stop it here for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe to the channel and series grow. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.